Okay, it's articles like this that I hope more and more guys just dump the work ethic altogether. Say, it's about time. We're taking it off now. We want reparations. You want these women in charge, let them build society. Now, this is from Hungary. Pink education, which means feminism. Hungary officials worry school system is too feminine. Well, what they mean is the women are in charge. So they make this article and they all already use weasel words. A government report warns that favoring traits like emotional and social maturity will hurt boys' development and create demographic problems. Uh, if it was actual maturity, it wouldn't hurt the boys, it would help them. So there is no emotional maturity to girls, for one thing. And the other is social maturity just means they're in charge. So they're admitting that women being in charge of everything damages society, of course. It argues that overrepresentation of women in universities weakens gender equality, really not equality, just quality, and boyish traits are necessary for optimal development of the economy. Now, that's quite the weasel way of putting it. In other words, boys to the work is what they're saying. The boys do the work and boys do the creating and the building. So they're admitting in a roundabout way of saying having a bunch of women at top who don't work and don't want to work and don't innovate hurts society, right? And why I get so disgusted is that they don't care about the boys as human beings. They only care about their utility. Boys have utility, and if they didn't have utility, this article wouldn't even been written. They'd just say, throw the boys out, send them off to war to get burned up. Let's see. Let's get this a little bigger for you. Hungary's state audit office has issued a report about the risk of a country's education system being too feminine. Like I said, in charge of women. Now, the report was issued last month, but had not caught public attention until the publication of a newspaper article on Thursday. The phenomenon called pink education, it's not a phenomenon, it's a hate movement. Feminism is in charge, has numerous economic and social consequences, really. So you're admitting women being in charge have consequences. Okay. Wrote the state body, which is seen as close to National Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Like in many countries, the teaching profession in Hungary is dominated by women, accounting for 82% of teachers. Yeah, and these female teachers are male hostile. So you don't want them in charge of little boys, for one thing. And of course, look, it could put boys at a disadvantage in school. So she's admitting it. Women don't like men. I keep telling guys that, and they don't want to hear it. They think I'm exaggerating or making shit up. Yet here, people are saying it over and over again. Men tend to be more egalitarian between the two genders. So if you have a male teacher in charge of a class, he tends to treat the boys and girls well, closer to equal, not equally, but closer to equal. These women are male hostile. They don't care that they're only kids. If education favors feminine traits, it doesn't favor feminine traits. It favors women. And I'm not going to say that maturity bullshit again. And provokes the overrepresentation of women in universities, equality of the sexes will be considerably weakened. So what? They don't care about equality of the sexes. This report is worried about the utility of men. It warned that if boys who, it is said, are more inclined to be entrepreneurial and take risk and are not allowed to develop unfettered, they will be at risk of mental and behavioral problems. Yeah, like the country's going to go to the Stone Age if women are dominant. I mean, that's been said before. Any matriarchy is a Stone Age. Right. And this is something that has to change in men. I don't brag up men's utility. Guys should be looking at this article and saying, fuck you. I'm not going to jump on this just because you see me as useful. That is not how men gain equality in their society. A report added that boyish traits of creativity and innovation are necessary for the optimal development of the economy. Okay, now they're saying outright that women aren't creative or innovative. That's not me saying it, that's them. The state audit office warned that ultimately pink education. Well, you know why that is? Why would you be creative if you're always living life on easy mode? If you're always being taken care of? Necessity is the mother of invention. And women don't have to deal with necessity, do they? Right. It could cause demographical problems, as educated women would not be able to find a similarly educated spouses, which could lead to a decline in fertility. Okay, so now they're begging because they're admitting hypergamy. Women select for men of not just equal, but greater than themselves. So these women enjoy dominating men, kicking them out, being abusive, and then they look for spouses to leech off of. And this is another thing that has to. I don't give a shit that this article is scared about this. If men have any self-respect, they'll say, no, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I'm not going to beg for the right to be a utility. So some leech can marry me and I can produce babies for the state. Talk of masculine and feminine qualities is total scientific absurdity. Hungarian opposition lawmaker Andre Toth fired back in Facebook. It is time to remove your glasses from the last century. You know, Viktor Orban has promoted a conservative revolution since returning to power in 2010, encouraged nativism and denigrating immigrants. Of course, men are always hostile to the men who are outside group. He has also defended a controversial law banning LGBTQ content to minors. Yeah, he wants the boys. He doesn't give a shit about the girls. He's worried. This guy Orban, he's only worried about boys' utility. That's it. And that's it. And I'm telling you right now, guys, all the men of Hungary should be looking at this guy and giving him the middle finger. He said, you're not fighting for you're not fighting for us as people. You're just saying, these guys are a resource that's important to the country, important to me, and I want to drain them dry and give everything that they produce to women. Screw this guy. Both these people, him and his opposition, can go screw themselves. Whether it's Andre Toth or Viktor Orban, they're both people who are out to get men in their countries. Awake, not woke. Make me puke. Another conservative who just wants to, ship men to war, get them jobs, and have them be little go boys to some female leech. These people make me puke. I hope Hungary burns. And when I say burn, I mean I hope Hungary turns into a third world shithole because they've backed women over men because of their male hostility. That's what I hope. We'll end it here.